we talked about prediction markets a little bit. I mean, Polymarket is one that most people have probably heard of, maybe used a little bit. They just recently announced accepting Bitcoin.
It's great.
But what led me to learn about that was that there's a Bitcoin focused one called, I think it's pronounced Predyx.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Predyx. I think Connor shared it with me, and then I decided to just
I've seen it on Stacker News.
They post on Stacker News all the time.
Yeah, I decided to play with it.
You gotta be on Stacker News more, Steve.
I missed it. I don't know. But anyway, played with it, super slick onboarding and user experience. I just wanted to describe what that is and then maybe compare it a little bit to Polymarket and how can Predyx keep an edge. So the user experience is great because first of all, to register, I could just use my Bitcoin private key. It used LNURL off.
That's cool.
So I just it presented just like Stacker News, right? It presented a QR code. I scanned it with Phoenix Wallet. That was me registering.
Nice.
So super slick.
No email address, no KYC.
So no KYC. So there's the remain anonymous part, but also just the onboarding UX. It's so fast and simple. Because at first I didn't see that option. So I'm like, I got to fill out this form and who knows what else. And it's less me being like, I mean, part of me is like, certainly if a passport, I don't want to do that, but just the time.
Yeah.
And I just put it away and move on to something else. So it was so simple. And then I was able to quickly and easily deposit money into the system through Lightning, right? And then, and it was instant. So literally within seconds, I was able to register, get money into the system, and participate in a prediction. So I did the World Series. I put, a little bit of money on Toronto.
Is it baseball happening? I don't even know anybody watch baseball. Are you geriatric now?
It's the World Series, man. Yeah.
That's happening now.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like DK for once.
I know. Yeah. I'll sit in the corner here and talk baseball.
That's bowling, right? Oh, baseball.
No, there's amazing
cricket
stories. I mean, Otani for the Dodgers is the most incredible player ever with pitching and batting.
I'm more interested in cricket.
All right. And since we're late, I'll skip the baseball story, but we'll pick up baseball next week. Anyhow, and then the way their UI works or their system works, you buy I forget what they call them. I'm almost scared to say the word token because it's not a token. The bad word.
You get cowboy credit
units. You get units or shares. I think it was maybe called shares. But I bought 100 shares in the prediction of the outcome of the World Series, which cost something like a fraction of a sat for a share. So 100 was 3 sats. So I see my bet here, in case this is illegal, I don't know, but it's 3 sats. So we're talking sub penny bet. But just the user experience to this was super fast, super simple.
Cool.
I thought it was awesome.
We should get them up here
with
for sure.
Polymarket. My understanding, I mean, I've gone to it just to see current estimates, but I've never participated. So my understanding with registering is you do need to KYC. So if that barrier remains, then to me, Predyx is far more compelling than Polymarket. And we'll just see, usually with a Bitcoin focused product, that you can just do more, go farther with the focus than one that supports a zillion different coins. So hopefully Predyx does well. And then I don't know any of the regulatory side of things. So can it continue being no KYC? I have no idea.
And I think the regulatory, I think Kalshi is the big competitor to Polymarket. I think Kalshi is fully regulated, and that enables them to be plugged in. I think they got plugged into Robinhood.
Wow.
I'm not a Robinhood or a Kalshi customer, but my understanding is if you are a Robinhood customer, you can participate in the Kalshi prediction markets without additional KYC or sign up or anything. So I appreciate all the points you're making around the simplicity of UX and Bitcoin-centric experience, but I think also figuring out how to get liquidity and distribution is an important challenge that Predyx should still be thinking about and figuring out how to solve. And sometimes the regulated prediction markets, I think, have advantages because they can be plugged into places where people already have value on store.
2 quick thoughts on that. I would love to go deeper. I mean, and you put this on my radar. I don't know if the Predyx guys want to start a company or kind of want to do it at the edges, but it's interesting because no KYC doesn't just have the obvious benefits. And by the way, this feels it feels very Bitcoin. Feels like one of those things where regardless of whether they can go the traditional route or not, you know, it feels like the kind of thing that could get real traction regardless. And like, that's where Bitcoin has always thrived, is on the edges. But I also, the thing I am most excited about, and the Predyx founders, if you're listening to this and you are thinking this way, definitely let me know, is when you have no KYC for prediction markets, that allows bots to use it. And so what I'm interested in is you can start literally having bots creating their own prediction markets and working and betting with other bots. That to me is something that could just go like 1000x. And it's early for that, but I'm most interested that if you don't have KYC or identity, then you can literally have new life forms using it, which is cool.
Yep. Super cool.
What do you think about Brian Armstrong's earnings report? Was that good or bad for prediction markets? Because in case you didn't
follow that dude.
Oh, well, there's a prediction market about which words he would say during earnings. And so at the end of earnings,
crypto
at the end of, well, you know, Web3 was one. Web3 was one. But at the end of the earnings report, he pulled up Polymarket and just read off every word. So,
did he really?
Yeah. That's so it was like, it made everyone a winner that bet that he would say it. Now,
did he say Bitcoin? Just curious.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was one of the words, right? Yeah. But so, you know, I think that's kind of funny. It's an interesting moment to do it. But at the same time, like insider knowledge here could have completely, I mean, I don't know how much money was actually, but imagine a lot of money and volume here. Like insider knowledge to him doing that would like completely rig these markets.
I mean, that's what Coinbase is doing from day zero. So,
so anyway,
not surprised.
But I think
for me, it almost it makes me question these markets more.
I think it's good to illustrate just how these things work. I think it's illustrative of the broader point of how prediction markets work and how they can be influenced and how you can bring information, or the market itself could cause a different outcome. Yeah. All of that is stuff that people should be aware of, instead of thinking of a prediction market as this like remote, you know, isolated thing that just like observes the world.
I think it was educational.
It plays with the world, right?
And people should understand that though. There's different no one's going to do an earnings report that affects the Toronto Blue Jays winning the World Series. But so you need to know what you're putting money on. but I think some can be rigged and some can't.
Like I think my understanding, and I'm not an expert in prediction markets, but
I was about to say we just literally talked about Chauncey Billups going to jail for this. So. Yeah.
But I think one of the functions of the platforms themselves, like the Polymarkets, the Kalshis, is that they decide what markets get made. Does that sound right to you? I think that's like, you can't just come and make up your own and just launch it. I think you have to.
I think you can on Predyx at least.
That's what I was going to point out, is I think because Predyx is a very different thing, I think instead of going after the same markets that Polymarket and Kalshi go after, instead, which are more like they're curating which markets get made, this is almost more like a tool that you could use with your friends to do like a sports betting thing, or you could take it. Maybe most of the markets end up being kind of more private in nature and they're not discoverable, but it's more like a tool that lets you construct these kinds of markets for yourself, which that's to me seems like a very differentiated value prop. Like I agree, you know, with Steve's point that it's like a nice UX, but ultimately like a nice UX can't beat volume and distribution. But if it has like a different feature in the world that it can actually be used in a very different way, in a private way, and it's not meant to be a discovery hub, but meant to be a tool, that seems promising to me.
I love that, and I love anything that enables the long tail. So you guys are making me more bullish on Predyx. I definitely need to go do a little bit more research.
Well, I learned the founder is in Southern California too, so
thanks for invited him
to Presidio
Bitcoin. Oh, great.
Yeah, he should come chill. I'm interested in learning more if you're listening.
Maybe he's listening to the show, and another invitation to come visit us up here. We'd love to chat with you.
But I just want to say really two quick things on that. Number one, what you're saying though, it's no different than traditional markets. Traditional markets are also probably rigged, right? Like, I don't know, like if you look at like insider trading as a thing, like people know, like whenever you see someone.
It's very different for two reasons. One, I mean, there's the SEC and its regulated market. I'm not saying, well, it is. I mean, like I'm not saying it's perfect, but people do get put in prison. There are investigations.
From time to time.
From time to time, exactly.
Well, no, but it is a difference. Like it exists. There's investigations. There's enforcement. I didn't say it's perfect. I didn't say it.
Yeah, I get your point.
It's everything. And like I don't. It's indisputable.
Yeah.
And then secondly is that the prediction markets is like way more wide open than the stock market. I mean, the stock market. There's only a finite amount that are. Have gone through this SEC process to be registered, and it's just easier to like watch that. I mean, even you guys are saying that's hard to watch, right? But I agree. But like it's impossible to regulate.
So where I think this is going to be
an open prediction market where anything could be predicted.
Anything can be predicted. And I think there's going to be good and bad from that. And I think what's cool is I've always wondered why aren't prediction markets taking off? And like maybe now is finally the moment.
They are. I mean,
Well, they are now, right? But I mean, I've been wondering this for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know what the kick was. Maybe it was just like more liquidity on these markets or easier user experiences, whatever. Maybe it was sports betting going mainstream. But I think what's really cool is we're going to have in real time the ability to solve some of these problems. Like it's like I think one of the great challenge for Bitcoiners is, you know, no one wants things like insider trading. We just think that centralized institutions are like often just too corrupt, too opaque to be able to do that well. It'd be awesome if institutions were honest. Like that would be really cool. But I think what's going to be really interesting is like, how do you try and get some of that in a bottoms up way? And so there's going to be a whole huge experimentation around oracles, reputation with oracles, markets on which oracles are honest, things like that. And I just think that's going to be super fun to watch. And I just want to say this one more time because I think it's very important, whether it's the Predyx guys or someone else, you know, finding authenticity and truth in a world with AI is going to be so important. So figuring out how to like run markets to find truth or closer to truth in a world that like where there's a lot of fake stuff or spam on the internet is interesting. And then really making this like an agent first experience. That's what I would be watching for a company that could just blow it out of the water.